On March 12, 2026, a fire broke out in the main laundry spaces of the USS Gerald R. Ford, the United States Navy's most advanced aircraft carrier, then operating in the Red Sea in support of Operation Epic Fury. The cause was not combat-related. A dryer, a ventilation system, the kind of failure that can happen on any ship after months at sea under continuous operational pressure. The Ford had been at sea since June 2025, 9 months of continuous deployment across multiple theaters. It had been extended repeatedly, most recently to support the Iran campaign. According to reporting from USNI News, if the carrier remained deployed through mid-April, it would break the post-Vietnam War record for the longest carrier deployment since 1975. The laundry fire changed the calculus. Within days, the Ford was heading to Naval Support Activity Suda Bay in Crete for repairs, pulling the most capable carrier in the theater out of the fight. And that single non-combat event set in motion a chain of decisions that sent USS Tripoli and USS Boxer racing toward the Strait of Hormuz. According to detailed reporting from Interesting Engineering and Army Recognition citing U.S. officials, the fire reportedly originated in a dryer ventilation system and spread through connected ductwork into adjacent sleeping quarters. It reportedly took more than 30 hours to fully extinguish and ensure no reflash risk. According to multiple reports, the fire displaced over 600 sailors from their berthing spaces, destroying more than 100 beds and forcing crew to sleep in improvised locations across the ship. 2 sailors were initially treated for non-life-threatening injuries. A third later reported for medical care. More than 200 personnel were reportedly treated for smoke inhalation before returning to duty. The Navy stated publicly that the carrier's propulsion plant was undamaged and the ship remained fully operational. That was technically accurate in terms of its systems. The operational reality was more complicated. A carrier generates its combat power through the people who maintain, arm, fuel, and launch aircraft around the clock. Displacing over 600 of those people, their rest, their equipment, their routine, directly affects the tempo at which the air wing can generate sorties. According to a maritime expert cited in Stars and Stripes, while equipment running continuously past normal service intervals was likely a contributing factor, a consequence of 9 months at sea without the maintenance downtime a normal deployment cycle would provide. Between March 17th and 18th, according to multiple defense reports, the USS Gerald R. Ford began its withdrawal toward Suda Bay. The departure of a Ford-class carrier, with its roughly 70 to 90 aircraft and the full strike capacity of Carrier Air Wing 8, created what defense analysts described as a temporary but significant gap in U.S. strike capacity in the theater. The USS Abraham Lincoln remained on station in the Arabian Sea, but the Red Sea slot that the Ford had been covering required an answer. And the answer, as the Pentagon worked through its options, was not another carrier. It was 2 amphibious ready groups already in motion. The USS Tripoli Amphibious Ready Group had already been ordered to the Middle East on March 13th, before the Ford's withdrawal became definitive. That deployment, carrying roughly 2,500 Marines of the 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit, was a response to the escalating situation at the Strait of Hormuz and the recognized need for a ground-capable force in the theater. The Ford's fire accelerated the urgency of what came next. On the March 19th and 20th, according to USNI News and The Aviationist, the USS Boxer Amphibious Ready Group departed San Diego, reportedly ahead of its original schedule. The Boxer ARG consists of the Wasp-class amphibious assault ship USS Boxer, the dock landing ship USS Comstock, and the amphibious transport dock USS Portland. The embarked 11th Marine Expeditionary Unit contributed roughly another 2,500 Marines, bringing the total ground-capable force heading toward the theater to approximately 5,000 personnel across the 2 ready groups. The honest analytical note is that 2 amphibious ready groups do not replace a Ford-class carrier. They do not carry the same number of aircraft. They do not generate the same strike tonnage per day. What they bring is a fundamentally different set of options, options that carrier strike groups by design cannot provide. Marines that can arrive by air onto contested island positions, MV-22 Ospreys that bypass mined water, F-35Bs operating at closer range to the corridor than carrier jets can sustain from the open ocean. And, according to reporting from multiple outlets, the option the administration has reportedly been weighing, a potential ground operation to seize or blockade Iran's Kharg island, through which approximately 90% of Iranian crude oil exports reportedly pass. What the arrival of two amphibious-ready groups actually changes about the military equation at Hormuz, the island options, the coastal positions, the mine-clearing protection, that is a full breakdown on its own. Subscribe if this analysis is what you are here for. We build these equations every week. Now, the bigger picture this buildup reveals. Step back and look at what the full force picture now looks like at the start of Week 4. According to reports, more than 40,000 U.S. military personnel are supporting operations in the Middle East. Two carrier strike groups, the Abraham Lincoln in the Arabian Sea and the Fords Group, now temporarily reduced to a wounded capability as the ship heads to Crete. The third carrier, USS George H.W. Bush, was reported to be en route to the region as of early March. The USS Tripoli ARG approaching the theater from the Indian Ocean. The USS Boxer ARG now at sea from the west coast, and a fourth week of an air campaign that has reportedly conducted more than 8,000 combat sorties. The Kharg Island question is the strategic thread running through the entire amphibious buildup. According to reporting from Axios, The Guardian, and multiple defense outlets, the administration has reportedly been weighing plans to either seize or blockade the island, depriving Iran of the primary revenue source that funds its regime and, by extension, its ability to sustain the cost of keeping the Strait of Hormuz closed. One unnamed official was quoted as saying that anything is possible and several options are on the table. The presence of Marines, Ospreys, and F-35Bs in the theater gives those options a real operational foundation rather than a theoretical one. According to the aviationists' fourth-week operational summary, the abrupt cancellation of a major exercise for elements of the 82nd Airborne Division sparked reports that the unit may have been placed on some form of alert status, though this has not been officially confirmed. The 82nd is the U.S. Army's primary rapid deployment force, paratroopers who can be anywhere in the world within hours, if accurate. Its reported alert posture would represent a further expansion of the options available to commanders beyond the Marine forces already at sea. The connection between a laundry room fire on March 12th and 5,000 Marines now heading toward the Strait of Hormuz is not as indirect as it might appear. The Fords' withdrawal did not cause the Boxer deployment. The decision to send the Tripoli had already been made before the fire. But the Fords' departure from the operational theater removed one of the key buffers that had allowed the administration to manage the Hormuz crisis from a position of overwhelming air power. When that buffer was pulled, the calculus shifted, not toward retreat, but toward a different kind of escalation. Ground-capable forces, amphibious options. The kind of capability you send when airstrikes alone have not produced the outcome the campaign was designed to achieve. 3 weeks of the most intensive air campaign in years have reportedly degraded Iran's conventional military capability significantly, according to defense sources. And the Strait of Hormuz remains functionally closed to most commercial traffic. That gap, between what air power has reportedly accomplished and what the corridor still requires, is the space these two amphibious-ready groups are sailing into. The honest caveat remains what it has been from the beginning of this conflict. Opening the strait is a problem that does not have a clean military solution on a short timeline. Whether 5,000 Marines change that equation depends entirely on what they are ordered to do when they arrive. The USS Ford is in Crete, the USS Tripoli is in the Arabian Sea, the USS Boxer is at sea from San Diego, and the Strait is watching all of it. What the Marines will actually do when they arrive The island options, the coastal raids, the doctrine the Marine Corps has been preparing for. That breakdown is already on this channel. This video is based on publicly available reports and analysis. Some details may be subject to change.